Hello YouTube. Today we're going to be doing something very different. We're going to be replacing the battery on a G-Shock. So we're going to dive into this. Very first thing you'll need is you're going to need a precision screwdriver set. I like this HDX one. I want to say I got it at Lowe's, maybe Home Depot. I'll see if I can find it and link it in the description, but it is pretty legit and pretty much a requirement if you want to do your own shit like this at home. So let's dive into it. The very first thing we need to do is we need to access the back. So accessing the back is actually pretty easy and straightforward. You have 4 Phillips heads. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and get those off. So when doing this, you want to be very careful. You don't want to strip it out. You also want to make sure that you have something where you can keep track of everything. Now, whether that's a white cloth like I have, well, actually, this is a gigantic handkerchief thing. Or you have a whole bunch of little containers or something. Don't really care. Just make sure you can keep track of the screws. Because like this video is actually going to be in 2 parts. You won't notice a difference because I can't find any accurate information online about what size battery it is. So since I can't find any accurate information, we're going to do it that way. Now then, what you want to do is take the piece off. And this is where it gets fun. So you have anti-static. I'll move this out of the way for a minute. Anti-static. I call them finger condoms, but they're finger gloves. Slide over your fingers like so. And it lets you work with the inside of it without any issues as far as messing with the metal goes. Or the accurate, or the inside. So this is a chopstick that I took and made like this. Let you get that off. Now the good thing is that this really only goes on one way. Okay, so once you reach this point right here, there's a little claspy. There's a little clasp right here. You might want to take something, you might want to insert it in. And unsnap it. In theory, this should work. There you go. Then once you unsnap it like so, now you can get the battery out. So the battery, as you can see here, is a CR1220. Now, you're going to want to get it. You're going to want to get the new battery. You're going to want to put it in. Get it in there. And snap it in place. Now, for the annoying part, and that is, if you notice, is not quite centered. So I'm going to get this thing centered up, and then we're going to get the back put back on. Now then, you see this little metal protrusion. That is how you align this. There it goes. Pull it off. Make sure it's aligned again, which it is not. So at this point, what I have not mentioned, and I can't find the clip anywhere, is that you have the plastic thing. Make sure you put that on there. Make sure the thing is centered in there correctly, because if you don't, the buttons won't work. And then from there, you want to make sure the O-ring is installed, and then you can put the back on. And when you do that, you want to make sure you try not to fumble with the screws as much as I'm doing right now. Then you want to make sure you get the screws in, get them finger tight initially, and then you want to make sure that you go about and tighten them in a star pattern. Now, if you've ever worked on a car or taken a tire off and put it back on, you'll know that it's recommended for the star pattern is recommended so that way it goes on and gets torqued down evenly. I'm not sure what the actual torque settings are for this for the screws, but as you can see, I may have forgotten it at that point. But what you need to do is get them all in there, get them finger tight. Try not to lose the screws, as I almost did there. There you go. And so now this one is going to be the first one that you initially torque down to, I guess, spec, whatever spec is for the watch. So as you can see, you tighten it down, get it good and tight, and then you're going to go to the one across from it diagonally, tighten that one down all the way. Then you're going to skip over to the next one, tighten that one down all the way, and then go diagonally again. And then you're going to hit the first one again, because chances are that O-ring tightening down the other stars, or the other screws, not stars, the other screws, allowed that O-ring to compress even more to where you can now get a little bit more torque. All right, so now let's adjust the time on this. So first thing you want to do is you want to hit adjust. You want to go to NYC. Wrong way. NYC, there you go. Then you want to hit mode. Daylight savings time is off. I can actually never keep track of which one does what. I actually like 24-hour. Second is fine. Now, is this? This is not month. This is time. All right. So it is currently 3:55. So we're going to go ahead and go to 3:55, which on 24-hour time is 15. Go ahead and back this up. Hit mode, and as you can tell, the year is way off because it is 2020. So we are going to fix that. Hit mode again. It's currently 11. Hit mode again. It's currently 22. To double check, make sure. And now we're going to let it do its thing. And then we're going to see if we have to adjust. All right, so now we have a problem. The analog time, which is right there, says 1600. The digital time says 1600, and the analog time says 5 minutes to 3. So it's almost an hour off. So now we're going to match analog and digital. First, we're going to press the bottom right button. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. There you go. So now the time says 00, and the digital says 0, and the analog should read straight up 12 o'clock, which is 0. So now let's see what happens. In order to get there, you hit the mode button. Now, huge surprise, it's about an hour and 5 minutes off. So now we're going fast forward. And right there. And now it should read spot on perfect. $16.02, spot on perfect. That is how you change the battery and adjust the time and everything on a G-Shock. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch you on the next one.